Hello my dear chess friends, welcome to Kiwi Chess. I know from my experience that my Sunday streams are not that popular in terms of views, but still I need to do that because that's the only way I could probably prepare to my club games tomorrow, and I think it's a really good way to prepare as solving tactics. I know it's not the whole thing that you need to invest in, but that's one of the essential things, of course. Since I can't say that my opening preparation and is okay, and I know for with high probability whom I'm going to play tomorrow, and I'm playing black, so I technically should have prepared well, but frankly, no time. So I'll do my best now just to train my counting skills, etc. Because um, um, I noticed that uh, the tactical trickery, nothing like not dirty play, of course, but the tactical trickery is saving time a lot, saving the position in many times, so gets you some advantage because tactical blows they are usually overlooked by your opponent, but you need to be really careful not to fall into those ones yourself. Okay. Alright, so we'll solve tactics here as soon as I just comprehend what the position actually is. Looks like we've got, we are exchanged down. Our knight on d4 is just beautiful, and we've got this really nice diagonal which can contribute to checkmating the enemy's king, but to get there we need to find a way, of course. Um, and let's verify how we can do that. Well, the bishop here on h5 is protected, so I don't know if my first thing was to attack that with g5, rook g5, but well, there is a lot of tricks here. If it goes there, I can simply take, right? I'm not threatened right forward, no checks or anything from the white side, so I think I can afford to just go there and um, attack the bishop. If bishop goes, there is checkmate, immediate checkmate here. Well, if bishop goes to f3 though, then it is a little bit trickier, but still, we can take right forward, right? So he can take, and we can take, and he can take with the queen. But then what? I mean, I lost my idea of checkmating on h1, so what should I do? What should I do then? Um, right, anything else? Anyhow, we can get that bishop out, in fact. That's what I'm not sure of. What if we just check? Let's just check that possibility. So he takes with the bishop, and if I take with the bishop, he retakes with either queen or rook, and it doesn't seem like serving the purpose, right? Right, okay. No, well, we should exploit that idea of checkmating on h-file. So I reckon this move would be sufficiently okay. What if he goes to f3? And that's what I'm trying to understand at the moment. So what are we going to do then? I reckon this. Um, it is either our queen goes in or we sacrifice on g3 at some point. That's the whole, that's possibly the idea of that play. Let's verify. So g5, rook g5 seems like logical, right? So he goes, if he goes anywhere else, then we checkmate him, right? So there is no way. g4 doesn't work because we simply take, and the pawn is pinned by our rook, so he loses material, and we still continue the attack. So this actually weakens the enemy's king's position. Okay. What can he do? So the only logical way is to go to f3 with the bishop, right? And what's next? We can take him, surely. So he takes with the a rook. That's the only way. He can't take with the queen because I'm gonna take him here. And then maybe we should do something like taking with the rook check. I'm threatening to take his rook, so I think he is obligated to take that one. But we are kind of trading down our attacking pieces, but not really achieving anything, so that wouldn't really work, would it? Maybe we could go there actually and attack the rook. That's an interesting idea, in fact. Because this other rook can be brought in, but then we can also attack once again, and the queen is going to be under attack. 3 attacks, 3 defenses seems like. So we take, he takes, we take, he takes, we take. I think it is good for us. So let's just concentrate on that one. We go in there, so he goes away. We're taking, so he takes with the rook. Okay, now we are attacking his rook again. He can't really take us because he's gonna get checkmated right away. So he needs to protect his rook. He can do that only with going to g3 with sorry, e3 with his rook. If he goes with the king, I'm not quite sure about that, because if I go to h5 with my queen, or maybe even going there, no, I think I want to go to h5 with the queen. If he takes me here, I'm taking him here. I'm standing quite well, or not. So going there, taking, attacking. If he goes with the king, no, I'm simply taking him. Well, that's not nonsense. So he has to bring another rook in, and then we are attacking with the queen. Now that becomes really interesting, because if he attack, if he protects that with the king, so we've got take, check, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, and the position is equal. So we have to find something in between, which is not really visible when we simply trade off the material. Okay, right. And by the way, I just said that rook g5 is how I would start, but maybe there is something else here. But let's concentrate on that one first. So he's gone there. And what are we up to? What are we up to? We definitely don't want to trade the bishop. Bishop is kind of really monstrous here. So maybe something. And yeah, this is the diagonal that just kills white. So I have to take, looks like. And it's a check. So he takes. Now I attack him with the rook. We saw that the king doesn't really work here. He covers with the rook again. And it seems like once I'm attacking him with the with the queen, now he can come closer with his king, and that is going to be slightly unpleasant for us. Is there any way I could attack him without being exposed? I don't see anything. Maybe just taking the pawn or something. But then the diagonal, the file is open, and he can simply check me, right? So I don't want that. Interesting. Very interesting. Is there any way I could just sacrifice that right away? So I take. Alright. No, probably not. No checks or whatsoever. I can't really expect that to be of any reasonable or sensible reason. Okay, so let's do it again. So he goes there, right? Shall I attack him? Yeah, well, I think I should. Can I take him with the bishop instead? So if he takes with the rook, now here is threatened, right? Maybe this take here. No, take there to get into here. So he brings another rook in. What if I go with the rook that way? That's an interesting idea. So instead of opening that, I'm just gonna go that way. That's a threat. It's a really serious threat. Yes. And if he goes there, I still check. He goes away. And that's where I can probably take him. He takes, I take. Well, yeah, that looks perspective. So going there with the rook, attacking him here on the h file is probably the best. So that's how I'm going to play, guys. This is the obvious move here. Now, with this one, I reckon I should take, but maybe, no, there is no maybe, I have to take here with check. Then he takes, and I'm just gonna go that way. Well, bear in mind that he's got this check here, of course, but I don't have to take with the queen. I have to go with the king forward. And then what? If he gives me check, I'm just taking this rook, right? So the rook is going to be on pre. And the checkmate here is hanging. So yeah. And if I take, he takes, I go there, he gets away with the king. He tries to get away with the king. But here check doesn't work because he can take with the bishop. I'm checking here and he goes that way. I can give a check here for sure, but then if he goes back, that's perpetual. Probably not the perpetual, so I go the check, he goes away, and I'm checking with the bishop and winning. So he has to go away that way, right? So he has to go away there. Then I give him another check here. He can simply go away or cover, and I'm not really gaining anything from that. Yeah. Yeah, well, it looks like I have to take, guys. I have to take. So he takes. Now here comes the idea. So I can go there. And once he brings the rook in, then I can go that way. That's another improvement because if he goes, I can check, and then his queen is gone. And that's a significant achievement. So we will go this pendulum moves here, and that in fact is much better for us. Yes, yes, that's the idea. So combining those two ideas, we actually win. I'll go there. Take, take. Now, if I go there first, he has to do something about that thing. And if he goes somewhere like maybe check here, I don't think it's going to be really kind of hard for us because I'm gonna take here checkmate in one is threatened and he's got no immediate, well, he's got this check or this check. No, this check is actually quite unpleasant, I must say. I cover, but then he gives me check here. Therefore I would need to take here with the rook, and if check comes that way I can always cover, and I'm winning here for sure. Yeah, I think that's easy. But this one doesn't work because he escapes. But here he can't really escape. He needs to bring the rook in. And once it's there, I can go back and threaten checkmate here. It just wins the queen. And if he doesn't go away with the king, that's fatal. So yeah, I think that's bollocks. Oh, come on. Come on. What if he goes there? What does happen then? Check here, goes away. Oh, don't give me that bullshit, man. Don't give me that. I know what that. Just check here. He takes. I check here. And then if he covers, I can probably checkmate him soonish. But well, check here probably would work or something. My idea was if he goes somewhere, I can take here and that's winning. But he obviously wouldn't do that. He would just cover with g4. And then what have I got? Check here. It goes there. I can check here, but yeah, I don't see how I'm going to gain on the enemy's king. So maybe not taking that. Let's just verify. We can take that at any time. Looks like. Maybe we can just go that way. That's really hard. Yeah, because that's winning. Check here. Yeah, I think that's winning. So let's just verify the computer because I'm kind of reluctant to see. So he checked me here, but if he goes there, computer show me what our idea would be. Yeah, check here surely. So he goes there, and then we're simply taking right away. That's what he says. Stay in. Check here. We saw that, and then the rook check. Here we go. If he goes there, then check here. He goes back, we check here, and then f2 is falling. My goodness. You know, that's really interesting. All those pendulum moves, as I call them, they are really, really strong. How you position the king in that such a way that we would take the pawn with all of the merits of the position. It's really cool. Yes, I lost the points, and in fact, guys, you are my witnesses that I got. I saw this variation, in fact, right? So I went there, and I saw that check, and the king goes away, not taking with the queen, and that's basically it, right? If he gives me check here, I simply take the rook. So that wasn't my calculations, but I thought we might be better to. What if I go there, by the way? So he covers with the rook, but then if I go there, then check here, I'm going away. He gives me check. How's it different? So I take here, check here comes, then rook check probably. Let's verify check. I cover, then this one comes. Check here doesn't work in this position. Right, that's the whole problem. But why does that work in the other position then? Oh, no. So if I go there, he goes away, take. If I go there, so check here, going there, checking here, taking. Why wouldn't that work here? I cover. What did I miss? This move? Or what? So this check here. What is wrong with the other one? Hang on. Oh, hang on a second. F5, E3, this one, right? Go in there, check, take. Now this one is better because because his rook is there. Okay, because I'm checking, he goes away and I'm taking the rook. right? But here rook is on a3, and that's why we shouldn't be actually getting there. We shouldn't be forcing him to go there, because it's actually in his merit. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought? I thought exactly the opposite, that we have to bring the rook in, and then with this sly move, we just go and win everything, but that's rubbish, isn't it? Just going there. Now he comes here, and it's a draw, because going there enables check here, and the rook is not standing on e1, therefore it's not going to be lost if we check him here. Goes away, check. Just a second, guys. So check, going away, check, take, take. Now check here, he goes there, and I cannot check him here either, so it's a draw. It's not losing, but it's a draw for sure. And it's all because of this position of the rook, which is not on e1 anymore. That's 2600 plus puzzles, exactly. All those little details that you should be taking into account before you perform your combination. The idea was cut, I mean, period, but the idea was yeah, so that's the idea, but I should have moved there right forward. I was afraid that he would go away with the king's move, but then check, he goes away, and here I think I proposed that move, which is also not bad. Computer gives minus 2.7, so that's winning 2 kind of, but with much more effort, I reckon. So the straightforward kill would be to take, he takes, and then check here, right? So if the king goes somewhere, we're simply taking the queen, and it's winning. And if he goes g4, which was played, so instead of queen going there check, we play a rook going there check, and if he goes there, we saw what the consequences would be. So again, there check, check here. If he goes there, then we can even take here check. My goodness, the king is going to be wandering in the center, and this wandering wouldn't be, yeah, for long, because the it says checkmate in 6, and it's valid because the king is quite weak in the center, not protected with any other pieces. So let's go further. That's a sad loss, but I hope we can regain that. In that position, frankly, seems awfully similar. I'm just curious if I saw that before or not. So, well, naturally, I already see that we are one piece short, so let's just think like globally here. So this check here would be only met with king going to e7. That's the only move here. Then what? We can take the rook, but he takes, and I'm gonna get check here. He takes, and it looks like we are wasting everything. We should be exchanging all of the active pieces here for sure. What if we give a check here, he goes there, and we're taking on e6. I'm just gonna try to understand the idea here, because look what happens. Our queen stands on g3 under the scrutiny of the enemy's queen and the rook, so if it goes anywhere without check, g2 checkmate is coming. So we need to be combining the idea of attacking and at the same time not missing anything that might bring us to losing. Another thing is that to take on a6 with check, which is interesting too, but is that going to be of any help to us? If he takes, which seems reasonable, we don't have this check anymore because he takes that with the queen. So opening the seventh rank is not to our merit at the moment. So take check, gets there, check here, he takes, and we take with the rook maybe. Then he gives us a check here, and we are losing, right? That's not pleasant, is it? So must find something better than that. Check here is just asking to be played. So go in there. What's next? Maybe some kind of interim checks from here or there or something. That's what I'm not quite sure of. If I take here check, he has to take. He has to take. And then what? We've got this check here, but he can just cover, right? If he just covers, I can give take here check, but then he covers again, and it looks like I need to find a stronger argument. Okay, okay. Maybe it's not even check. Maybe I should just go with something else. I need to move with something else. In fact, if I go there check and if he takes, I take the rook, right? He takes me here, I take him, and we are standing with a rook and against two bishops, which is not really good. I know that. But I shouldn't forget about that move, in fact, right? Check here, which is interesting. All right. So check here, goes there. Oops, check here. See, he covers, right? So we go there, he goes there. We check here, he covers. I can give him another check from this side. Sorry, from b4, in fact. And if he goes away, that's where I'm kind of struggling, because our g2 square is also under attack, and it's a checkmate that we are talking about. But the king is perfectly safe there, right? Welcome guys, thank you for joining. So this seems to be an interesting problem. Okay, so let's just verify again. Check, he goes there. I have no other checks apart from sacrificing on a6 and maybe taking on d8. By some reason I want to take here with check at some point, but I don't know. So check here, he goes there. If I take here check, he has to take, right? He has to take. Then maybe I can give check here or something. And if he goes away, I'm still under checkmate, which is sad. check goes away, and and taking here. What if I take here check first? So he has to take pretty much. Alright, so he has to take pretty much. I can't check him there anymore. That's all gone. No. The answer is no. I can check him here though, of course, but he takes, I take, and then what? Not really clear. What if I take the queen, in fact? Well, he can take with the bishop, right? And that's probably ending our suffering. Yeah. Okay, let's go again with this variation check. There was Grandmaster Kotov, a Soviet Grandmaster who won tournament in Stockholm. So he was an author of the book that I had already mentioned before, which is called the um, Secrets of Grandmaster Thinking, as well as How to Become a Grandmaster, the two books. In there, he, for the first time, well, maybe not for the first time, but he systematized, made a system of how you calculate the variations, and he explained that, well, technically you need to go through so-called shrub of variations, and you need to go through them each of those ones only once. You see, I'm directly contradicting what Kotov actually um, uh, uh, you know, said to do, but I doubt that the grandmasters also go via variations only once. I have a feeling that they also go there, but then again and again and again, and see that, because that's how it is kind of sensible to go. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not a grandmaster. That's why I'm thinking this way. But it seems to me like I'm just going to this variation once again, and I'm seeing this position again, and then I'm just trying to understand maybe there is anything else in here. Um, okay, so yeah, maybe I should abandon it and go to another variation already. But that I see when I see this kind of moves like knight to a c7 check, and then straightforward king to e7, that's the most forcing, and that's probably worth of our attention. That's what I'm thinking. That's how my thread of thought works. Okay, once we perform this move, how many other candidate moves we've got? We've got this check, surely. So we have already seen that, well, there is this cover here, right? Then we can give another check here, but the king goes, escapes to f6, right? If it escapes to f6, then we are still under checkmate this way, right? So there is no way I could potentially do anything apart from checking here, of course, and he will have to take here, and I'm still on b4, so I can give a check taking on b7. He can cover, and that becomes way too complex. That's not even worth going in there. It's gonna be just a jungle of variations. So no, no, no. What I'm also thinking is maybe we should just give him a check from somewhere else, like from the light square diagonal here. I would really like to place my bishop, my queen to here or there with check, and he can't cover. He can cover only with the rook, but then this check comes, and that is kind of unpleasant. He can go away, of course, but yeah, I can give another check. He goes away, then check again somewhere from here, like. But how to get there? And it doesn't seem like helping. So I'm trying to understand if there is anything really, really forcing and really, really cool. I reckon there's something to do with the knight, one of the rooks, and the queen, of course. So try to prove me wrong. Check here, goes there. Taking the rook, he takes back. We can give another check here. If he goes away that way, we can probably take hitch here. He retakes. We can give another check. And he goes back. Then we can always come here, checks, etc. So it's gonna be quite an unpleasant attack for black. So I believe this is the first move. I don't see anything else if we sacrifice, for example, that just opens the whole 7th rank, so no merits. Definitely no merits. And I can't really go anywhere with my queen because g2 checkmate. And going there actually preserves the knight as well, which is nice. So I think that's gonna be my first move. Now once he goes there, that's I wanted to try that take on d8. I do want to try that one because technically he would need to take. Okay, now he can go back to e7 afterwards, but this check here would probably allow him to say if he goes back, what am I expecting to do here? Check here, then he goes that way, then I give him check from here and I'm winning the queen. Nice, nice. And once I give him a check, he goes somewhere like g6, for example. My queen is under attack, in fact. But we can give him check here. He goes away, check here, and then we win the queen anyway. So that's nice. That's nice. So normally I would just go for that, but let's just stick to our plan. So check here. He goes there. We're taking the rook. He takes here, check here. We decided that he can't go to e7, but if he goes back to c8, then what we do? That's a good question. And the answer is probably just to get the take here. But see, if we take here, he can take on g3 first. And if we retake, he takes me here, and we are missing a piece. Therefore, check goes there, taking, takes here, check, right? Check is required first. And if he goes away, simply taking, no, we're losing our queen here on exchange. Then what we can do is maybe we can take here, he takes, and I'm gonna go there attacking his rook, and at the same time maybe I'm just check. Now that doesn't seem right. So now we check the first variation, it was okay. So check here, he goes there, take, What, by the way, if he takes here, I'm just gonna give him check first. And then I'm gonna, he goes away somewhere. Then I'm simply taking him here. He takes me here. And it doesn't seem right actually. Hang on. So check goes away. I take here. What if he just takes my queen? That's the question. See if I give a check, he goes there. Still kind of maybe check. Give him a check maybe. So if he covers with the queen, check here, and he goes that way. And then if I give him check this way, he can simply go back. I could go g3, and I think I'm gonna be still having really strong attack here, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Doesn't seem like this compensating uh, piece loss. I don't know. Let me just quickly go back. Oh, my phone is so slow. Okay, so I'm going there. Checking this thing. Wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm going to the chat area, which seemed to me... Come on! Back. What the heck? My channel. Here is my thing here. Oh, I see a lot of people watching now. Thank you very much, guys. Welcome, welcome. So, if you're first time here, I'm a candidate master from New Zealand. My name is Alex, and here I usually solve puzzles. So I warmly welcome you. I try to make my streams more regularly. So today I'm continuing my yesterday's journey, and yesterday's journey continues from, I reckon, from Wednesday when yeah. So yeah, I solve puzzles mostly. That helps me prepare to my over the board games. That's the only time I could probably spin to chess. This, in this stage of my life, I used to do a lot of studying and in openings, end games, etc. But currently, I'm really short on time, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm just solving tactics. That's at least makes your brain work, and it doesn't let you get lazy. All other stuff like openings and everything is forgotten for time being. I mean, for time being is harsh to say, but maybe for a certain period of time, and then I hope to come back with fresh ideas and all of the vigor and ingenuity in openings, mid game, and end games to crush everybody on my way. But let's just do our stuff. Check goes there. Now I prepared to take here, but I see that it doesn't really work at this moment. So I give a check. He covers with the queen. Apart from that, he can do many different things, like cover with the pawn, for example, right? But covering with the pawn doesn't really help because I'm gonna take the bishop with check. Then he goes away, and then I'm gonna give him another check here, and he would need to cover, and that's definitely in my favor because I take here with check, then take here, etc. So that's good. So this check seems necessary. Why this is necessary? Because my idea with check going there and rook takes d8 doesn't work because of this take here. I calculated this check here as well, the interim check. So he goes to d7 attacking my knight, and it seems like, well, I need to recapture his queen, then he takes my bishop here, and I'm standing with two rooks against a rook and two bishops, which in fact is inferior, I believe, to well, two rooks are definitely not that strong here. Yeah, it has a really nasty pin here, but well, f6, for example, would probably unpin, and then bishop. Well, no, that's not gonna unpin. In fact, that's still a lot of things that a black should be, a white should be, no, black should be careful about. But no, that doesn't seem right to me, because first of all, I don't see any reasonable advantage there, and if you don't see that, you just don't go there. As simple as. Not like, well, let's try and see. That doesn't work this way in chess. You need to calculate it, and if you see some initiative or any possibility of at least checking first or something, pursuing the king, then you should go there, but not this way. All right. What if I check? He goes away, and then I check. Looks like this check is essential. So check. He can't cover with f pawn, so he has to cover with the queen. He has to cover with the queen. Then I take him. He takes with the rook. Then I take his rook here. He takes here, and I take his bishop here. What I just noticed that he can take my knight. No, that doesn't work. Blasted. Check goes there. Maybe take here, check. No, check here. Covers. Then if I don't want that exchange to happen, I would just go there, check. And if he goes away, I believe that I could simply... No, I can't simply take because I'm under checkmate here. Blasted. This checkmate is everywhere. Ruins all my plans. Okay, then I will give you a check again. And if he goes back, then I give you check here. And if he goes that way, then I can check from this side. And if he goes back, I can simply play g3 or maybe at some point. That's what I'm thinking. Like sometimes quiet moves, just defending, and it's still like the king in the center, and g3 while my king is here and his queen is my queen is on e5, his queen is on g5. I think that works not that bad. Right? Well, let's go there because I don't really see anything else apart from this check. So the check was right, that's a kind of perfect sample of the most forcing development of the game. So let's verify how we are standing there. Okay, not too bad. So definitely this check is probably necessary. We're playing with fire here, but as I said, like simple protective move might be sufficient to win the game. If we don't go there check, I was suggesting to take here, but then he simply takes my queen. Right, he takes my queen, and what am I doing? What am I going to do here? I have to retake, or I can give him another check here. He goes there, and I'm taking, and he takes here, And then I'm gonna check him here, but I can't even get to win that bloody bishop. I can go to d1, and then he still, well, he can go f6 in this case, but then I go there and I'm winning the bishop. Well, he can go there, still taking. He is taking and winning. Yeah, no, that's not really right. So let's just concentrate on this check then. So he covers. Do I want to exchange? Don't know. Don't know. That doesn't really seem right. So check the here then, and it looks like the only one alternative is just to go that way, right? So now check here. If he goes to g6, be my guess, because I'm gonna simply take the... Oh, hang on. Hang on a second. I just noticed that, well, I can't even take him, so he goes to g6 if I check him here. And what the heck am I doing then? Oh, that's simple. I'm gonna take here check first. He takes. I'm gonna take his rook here. Well, he takes here. Or maybe I simply take here first. Then he retakes. Then I give a check, but then he can cover. Then I might give a check from here or something. I don't know. 26 plus puzzles are devils. It is not an easy puzzle anymore, and you have to kind of wreck your brain. If you have an illusion that it's easy, it could be only right in one sense where you have been given an easy puzzle. And that happens, but less and less once you got once you progress with the rank. Okay. Oh dear, what the heck am I going to do? So check here maybe. He takes. Then I take here. Then he gives me checkmate, right? No. No other checks apart from this one. But then he simply takes with the rook. I take here. He takes me here and I'm lost. Okay. So not for that we checked him here. So this check is coming. He covers. Then check here comes. He goes there. Two possible moves, but both lead to nowhere. Maybe just check here. He goes away. Now there is no checkmate here, but he covers this this square, right? Maybe then taking here simply. He takes with the queen. I give a check. He covers. He covers. And I don't see anything. understand. Maybe just take here or something. No. Well, the idea was to take, but he takes me here, and that's kind of refutation. So check here seems the only way to me. But then we need to understand after covering, for example, what are we going to do? We've got only one check here. So let's do that. Check. He goes away. And then what? The queen is under attack, so it should go somewhere. I'm reluctant to give him check from there because currently the rook is not protected, so maybe I should use that somehow, but I can't even take him because my queen is under attack. So check here or there is definitely going, so he goes away. Now g2 is protected because there is no check, and that is good. Then I can give this check here. I can't because he's on g6 already. My goodness, that's tough. Ugh. How long I was streaming? 54 minutes, nearly an hour now. And I don't really seem to be progressing. I lost one puzzle and I'm currently missing ideas. Well, I'm not missing ideas, but I don't see where these ideas lead, in fact. Maybe I should simply take hero, I reckon. And if he takes me here, have I got anything? No. No. But this position here seems like really interesting. It is just begging for kind of sacrificial stuff and forking here, I think. It is just begging for that. Check there. So check, he covers again. Maybe taking here check. He would have to take. Then I give him this check here. He covers. And basically that's it, right? Can't believe that. Check here goes, he goes away. His queen is there. Well, simple check then I believe, and he goes away, and then we can probably give check here. He will cover, and then I'm gonna take the rook. What the heck? What check am I talking about? There's no check here, you saw it. Just going there. So taking, and then when he takes, then I'm checking, but then he covers. And that's where I can't really find anything. Maybe just taking here then. If he takes me, then I take here with check. He takes, I take here, and how we standing? Well, not good because he's got 2 pawns here. Wow. So in this position, and this particular position, We haven't got this check here. It's gonna be pointless, right? We can sacrifice check here, or maybe we can take with the knight. It's also a possibility. But if he takes, then I haven't got any. Oh no, hang on a second. I've got discovered check here. Oh, that makes sense. So if I take here, he has to retake, right? He has to retake. Then I've got this check here, guys. Simple, my god. What was I thinking? Check here. He goes away somewhere, and then I'm taking the queen, and then I'm taking the... Oh, for goodness sake. It was so easy, and I was just wrecking my brain, just going somewhere in this depth, instead of just going... Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Simple. Just simple. Discover check is the threat, it's a really significant one, because taking now doesn't make any sense for him to take here, just discover check here. Well, hang on, let's just verify that. I'm not sure. Oh, this check here comes first, of course. But if he covers, then this check comes, right? And he needs to go away somewhere, and then the rook falls. Wow. I'm really proud that I found that. So yeah. Hi Sachin Saju, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I was just gloating that I found the correct move. And it was actually quite hard, but I needed to kind of tune my brain. So here, who would have thought? Well, this move I found really easily, because that seems like the only one, and it's the most forcing. Now the king goes there, that I saw perfectly, but then I started to mess around with all these things like check from a h4 and then go in there check, but I couldn't find anything because he goes to f6. Right? So that must be wrong, but I kept pummeling that without any reason. I needed to shift to something else here. So then I checked this take, but he simply takes, right? So that's not going to be good. Taking here, he takes. But I checked everything apart from the very obvious move to take here with the knight. And that makes total sense. Because the discover check is on the plate. If he takes here, check here, and he can't recover because I'm taking with the rook and then take his queen. But if I go there check, and if he goes away somewhere, first I will take the queen. No, I can't take that. Hang on a second. Here I need to be more specific. Check here first. No. My idea was to take the queen. So see, I was proud to find that. Oh, hang on. What the heck am I talking about? Check here, of course. That's it. Yeah. And then he goes away, but whatever. I can even bring the rook in, I think. He would need to go that way or something. Yeah. Well, I'm having extra exchange here. My position is brilliant. I can take here with check then. And doesn't seem like doesn't seem clear where he is going to go. Anyway, good one. Oh, pawn and game, guys. That's a brilliant stuff to train. All right, so here, pawn and game again. I repeat that what counts in the pawn game. King's position first. If you are more active, that's a significant plus. Then extra pawn moves, or so-called reserved pawn moves. Here, what we can say about the position, that my king, if I take on c4, is going to be slightly more active because my king is on the 4th rank, his king is on the 6th rank, so technically he is slightly away from the center, right? And also we're attacking. So king's activity, extra pawn moves. Technically, I might have got this pawn move here, which would create a distant passer, but it's not the reserved pawn move. By reserved pawn move, I would say, like, if we've got another pawn here on h2, then we will have a reserved pawn move. Okay, not in this case. The third thing is the possibility of pawn breaks, and here is our pawn break, b3. It creates the distant passer, and this distant passer is the 4th thing which could lead to our advantage. So distant passer or passer in general, distant passer moreover is better to have in the pawn endgames, because distant passer distracts the enemy's king, and then our king goes and munches those pawns, for example, right? So that's how it all works. So distant passer, and then there are some of the quirks which are called the opposition, or more accurate matching squares, because the opposition doesn't win by like by force all the time. There are some positions where you need to like keep the knight opposition instead of the direct one. So matching squares is the really essential part, which leads to another element which is called Zugzwang. And Zugzwang is the I'm not quite sure if there is any English equivalent, but it is a position in which every move of your opponent worsens that to extent that he loses the position, loses the game. Right, so in this case I'm prepared to take here, sure, that's kind of obvious here, we don't want to leave him another pawn. And here I'm thinking about a pawn break here, but I might be wrong, because it's not always good to create the pawn, create a passer even if it is a distant passer, right? So in this case, let's just verify. So if I go there, he takes, I take. What can he do, by the way? So he still keeps his pawn, so he can go there. And if I start moving my pawn here, so he moves further, I go for his pawn, and he goes for my pawn. And technically that should be winning for me, but maybe his idea would be, if I go there, take, take, maybe he will go further with this pawn. And guess what? If I start to move my pawn, he will go further and try to push his pawn. So I need to get in front of my pawn. And then he can go for my passer. Once I'm approaching his passer, he can take me here. Well, still looks really good for white. I mean, that would be my first choice if I hadn't known the position. But let's verify another thing, which is going b5 with the king. Is it worth doing or not? He goes there. I can take the pawn. Now he goes for my pawn. I would go probably further here. So he takes my pawn. I'm starting to move. He moves away. I'm moving my pawn. He moves his pawn. Dem, 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 dem. Okay, so we both kind of queened simultaneously, and I don't know in fact if I could do anything here. So this way seems interesting, but it looks like he's got the idea of taking out my pawn and then moving and queening, and therefore I'm not quite sure. Let's verify once again. So I go there, he goes there, I'm taking the pawn. In fact, he can go that way, and I would need to go further or give him check here. And if the check happens, I go there. If he goes that way, I take here. He takes here, I take here. And it seems like black is winning because he goes for my pawns here. Isn't that bizarre? Going there, taking here, going c4, check, going there. If he goes further with this pawn, I probably would just go further. Going there, going certainly. We go that way. Well, that's not really clear, even though it is kind of seems like white has got advantage in this position. So let's just do that again. Going there, going there. Let's not do the fancy stuffs here. So taking, going for the pawn. Going there. Taking here, going there. Going there. Here. here. Yeah, well, in this case we queen simultaneously, and I don't even see if we've got any merit of going and queening first. So it seems like it's murky. So let's just go with this variation then. This seems okay to me because we got distant passer, so who cares really? Why should it go before? That's another interesting stuff. Because that's more forcing. He will have to take me here. Whereas with this one, take, it looks like he's got an extra move. With this one, takes, take, well, he's still got this move anyway, so I would never say so. Go in there first, yeah. But this is more forcing because I'm threatening to take him now, right? Looks like either of this works, and if either of those pawn moves work, now I start to doubt myself whether if both of them lead to a winning position, then it seems like yeah. And well, see, Sachin Saju, what happens here is once you solve a puzzle, there shouldn't be two equal ways to get to the end point. No way. No. It's always just one. And therefore it's either there is some subtlety of going there rather than going there, or if I go before, maybe he can take here. But in this case, I can well, I can only take with the if I take with the pawn, he just goes further with the pawn, and I'll have to catch that. Still seems, yeah, well, still seems okay to me. If I go there, he takes, I take. He goes further. I go further. He goes for my pawn here or something. No, no, that doesn't work this way. CB here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of looking at now. I can take with the king, and if he goes there, I'm taking here. He goes for my pawn. I'm going backwards here, so he takes. I go there. He goes away. I go further, and again, that's not good. So I think you're right. So I think b3 is better. It was my initial choice. Because if I go there, he can take with that, and I think it is seemingly worse. So I go there, it is straightforward. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. So going there, I'm not taking here, and he takes, I take, and therefore my pawn here wins. I think I will go there. And that's correct, right? Go there. Now here is a little bit of struggle again. So shall we go further for the pawn, or shall we go further with our pawn? My idea was just to go further with the pawn, but we might be really careful here. So I still think that going with the pawn further is better, because we're not wasting time. If he instead goes to there or going there, just trying to give me check and go further, I would probably go that way. But if he goes there, go there, he goes that way, I come closer, he takes, I come closer. So he keeps the pawn, that's the problem. So I think I shouldn't let him go there, I should just go further with c3. And then if he goes there, I don't care, I'm just starting to push my pawn. So I think this is a really important prophylactic move. If I go there, then he goes here, and he is threatening to go d3. And then he will go with the pawn quite quick with checks, right? Even if I go away, he will gain one check on me, and he might go in queen first, which would guarantee him a win, or at least he can go back with the king and take my pawn out. See, that's where I would disagree. Pushing the pawn forward, he brings this piece here. If I push my pawn even more forward, he'll give me check first. I go further, No, sorry, I can't go there. So I'm gonna go instead here, and then he will go back to his pawn. I come here, he comes there. He still keeps the pawn, by the way. I push the pawn forward. He takes the pawn. I take his pawn. He goes there. Well, that's still winning. That's still winning, yeah, so that's still winning. But do I lose if I just move that way? Pushing the pawn is simple, but if he goes and checks me first, I go there, going there. I'll have to push my pawn even more, so he goes there. It is winning. It is winning because I'm going to his pawns there. Yeah, that's winning. So, a bit of a dilemma again. So going there, it should be eliminating some of sort of a counterplay. So if I go further, I think his best interest is to go just to go forward with his king. And if I push forward, he goes there. I push there, check. I go away somewhere, he goes further with the pawn. See, and I think we're queening again at the same point. And that's the problem. So that's why my idea is to, if I push the pawn and he goes there, and then if I just go with my king to c2, I believe that he goes to c4, and I can't really get his pawn. That's the problem. Here comes the catch. Here comes the catch. I can't push my pawn, and that's my final word, because if I do so and he goes that way, in order to not to draw this game, I will have to go with my king here, but then he goes c4 and then he catches my pawn, leaving his here. That's the catch, my friend. And if I go straight forward to c3, he wouldn't have any way of going around my pawns or whatever, and then my pawn will say its word. So that's the thing. And pushing the pawn forward is actually the catch which allows black to at least to draw. Going there, pushing my pawn forward, knock, going there, check, and then he goes there, automatically goes there and queens, right? So that's draw. I'm going there, and that's correct. See, I was right. So he goes there, then we can push the pawn, because now that's where we can dance around and play our trump. Phew, that was really interesting. That was really interesting. And I need to remember that I think I would be even interested to save that one for further analysis, because that's really interesting. So see, I will just show you the reasoning here. So if we push the pawn without losing time as we thought, then what happens is he's coming here. And his threat is to go to d3 and then push the pawn with tempo. His king supports the pawn and goes with tempo as well. So either I need to lose a tempo here, but then he crosses the equator first. So I'm already tempo behind here. So if he goes there, I would have to go there, or here or there, whatever. It doesn't really make any difference. Like here, to waste the tempo. And then he's going there. He catches my pawn, and I'm unable to get his, so I'm losing here, which is totally disastrous. So in order not to lose, I would need to push the pawn forward, right? But he goes there, and as I explained to you, he goes there, check here. Wherever you go, he's got this extra tempo on you, and then we go there, going there, going there, and going there, and this is probably a draw. Okay. It looks like a draw to me. Let's see. Well, I will get the computer here, and it seems, yeah, computer says draw. We can let it brew, of course, but without wasting time. Sometimes it's a catch. You need to let your engine to run for quite a while before it just actually says, well, it's a win or it's a loss. But in this case, it seems, even visually, it seems like a draw. Checks, yeah, sure, but you can't really get anything here. Black's king is way too active. He can go back to the pawn, so I think it is white who needs to seek draw here, right? That's where what my point was. Okay, so let's see how we are standing. And I think, guys, on this bright note, I would probably finish because yeah, I have to go to work tomorrow and I want to go to bed earlier just to keep myself fresh. Tomorrow I've got my club game, so I think it's gonna be nice to have a good sleep before that kind of long day at work, and then playing probably really strong opponent tomorrow. And I'm playing black, so I would need full concentration not to get to any trouble. And I think that would be it for today. I will definitely write down this particular pawn and game because that seems very, very nice and educational. Okay, thank you everybody who was watching and will be watching. Thank you for the new followers. Thank you guys for your input here, and I will be glad to do my regular sessions. I think I'll plan one for Wednesday, and I will see you then. Thank you, take care, and bye bye.